This week on Two Nerds a Podcast.
Miles informed me that all three of the Broly films are equally as enjoyable.
No. We said we were going to talk about street racing.
Did we? I don't know. So the next ones, we're getting into the least popular episodes. So these episodes need a little bit of love, you guys. Jarrod in Japan, when you talked about your Japan trip.
God damn it. Nobody gives a fuck. My God.
We recorded...
Why did we do that?
I can't remember.
All of our podcast titles sound way more interesting than like what I remember our podcast.
You gotta try to get the clicks, brother.
Are we living in a simulation?
That's what we talked about, and that was an episode we did a Q&A, and someone asked if we thought we were living in a simulation. That was a whole Q&A episode from this year. In episode 1, we made a lot of promises and came up with a lot of ideas that we didn't end up doing. And which one of these...
Imagine that. We still do that to this day. Who knows if this 1,000 subscriber live stream is actually
gonna happen.
I'm honestly like really looking forward to it for some reason.
Are you really? Well, yeah. I'll let you take the reins on that one. You can figure out the technical stuff, and then we'll.
I think it's gonna be fun. I think we're gonna get into it. We're all gonna grill Miles. Like it'll be funny. And he's gonna help us get through the fucking game.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you a special presentation of
Two Nerds a Podcast, your home for everything movies, music, video games, and everything in between. With your hosts, Bunny the Bruiser, and Dynamite Jarrod Latching.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Two Nerds a Podcast. We are Two Nerds. This is a podcast. I am Buddy the Bruiser.
And I'm Dynamite Jarrod.
Looking good, my man. This is our first ever podcast recording on Zoom. We're just going to test the waters here, see what's going on, because...
Sounds good on my end.
Because we might be going through a little bit of a rebrand coming up soon. We might have to do like a three-way kind of scenario. And with that, I mean, we need to test Zoom out because, I mean, Zoom and Skype both have the three-way option, but, I mean, Skype is pretty obsolete at this point, so we're just going to test this thing out, see what's going on, and, yeah, you're along for the ride, so.
I think Jim Cornette still uses Skype.
Well, of course he would. I mean, he's a boomer, bro.
He's a mega boomer, giga boomer.
Yeah. So what's been going on, man? I mean, you've been talking to me before the show. You've been playing Silent Hill, potentially doing some live streams coming up. So how are you enjoying the game so far?
Well, I haven't played it in a few days because I've been trying to set up the damn live streams. As I'm playing it, and I got Mazer Laser asleep on the fucking couch. And I'm just like, this would probably be all right to play as a live stream. And so I start looking, I bust out my Elgato, I'm doing all this, setting it up, and then I hook it all up to the PS3 because that's what I'm playing it on, PS3. And then it's just a black screen.
Great.
So come to find out that I need to buy an HDMI splitter to bypass the HDCP, whatever that stands for, is some type of kind of coding or whatever that fucking blocks gameplay recording or video recording of whatever you're doing. And the PS3 has that. So I ordered the thing and I stopped playing for a couple days because for some reason I was like, I must live. I can only play this if I can only play it if I'm live streaming. Yeah. And so I got it all set up last night, and then Steven Stab Wounds texted me right before I was about to go live, and yeah, so I didn't live stream last night.
Yeah, we've always had problems with our live streaming and stuff because originally we wanted to do it with the Resident Evil with the Elgato when we were playing RE7, and we're just having tons of technical difficulties with it. So I mean, you've done it with your mobile stuff, but I mean, as far as the console stuff, we've had a lot of problems. So
I've done it with Gundam with my
did you?
Gundam missions. Yeah, I went
cool.
live and summoned for some Gundams, and
I must have missed that one.
A couple, yeah. I don't expect you to watch it.
Well, if you're getting on Silent Hill, I might pop in the chat, say some shit. So we'll see.
It's going to be on Twitch. I'm not going to do it on Facebook. I'm going to give Twitch a try.
Okay, yeah, because we got to figure this shit out because the 1,000 subscriber special.
Your 1,000 subscriber special will be on Facebook. I was thinking, or not Facebook, on YouTube. Did I say Facebook earlier?
You said Facebook. Yeah.
Well, yeah, on YouTube, because that's where your 1,000 subscribers are, and you want to do this for them. I've streamed on YouTube before. I'm imagining that I will handle most of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, here's the ideal setup, because I've actually been thinking about this, because I think it'll be halfway fun.
Fun.
For the first couple hours, it'll be fun. And then like after that, we're just gonna be like, holy shit! Like I can't believe we're just gonna sit here and play Deadly Premonition for 16 hours.
We might have to play something else, because if we're gonna keep the energy up and the fun up for us, we got to be playing some like good shit, I guess.
Well, like here's my thing. If we're going live, right? For what is it? 16 hours.
16 hours, yeah.
So we're gonna have to like start at like 8 a.m. and go till like fucking midnight or 1 a.m. I'm thinking that we gotta beat Deadly Premonition. We gotta beat Deadly Premonition 2.
Oh my god.
and then see if we can go anywhere from there, if we're gonna do anything else.
Well, here's the problem with that. Like, because Deadly Premonition 2 is only on Switch. So like, how are we gonna? I mean, we might have to stay with something that's all on the same console.
No, we'll be able to. We'll be able to figure it out. You can, like, when you're streaming with like OBS or whatever, you can have like multiple like screen setups, right? So when we're switching over to the Switch, unless Switch has HDCP, I don't know if it does or not. It might actually, because I remember some kind of controversy about like Nintendo just let fucking people stream your games like it's good for,
everyone. Yeah.
So we'll have to look into that. But if there's no HDCP on it, then all we'll have to do is just kind of have like a standby screen set up, and then switch to that, kind of switch the Elgato over to the Switch, and then a lot of switching going on. And then
a lot of switching on the Switch, yeah.
And then like activate that, switch back to the gameplay screen, and then go with Deadly Premonition 2 from there. And if we can't do it, then we'll figure something else out. But we'll research and see what the HDCP situation for Nintendo Switch is.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, because that should be coming up at some point. We'll have to find a day where me, you, and Miles are all available the entire
It'll be fun
day.
Because it'll be like, all right, like one of us is gaming, one of us is manning the live chat, like on the stream, kind of, taking super chats or whatever, and interacting with the chat. And then I'm saying Miles will probably be like a player coach. Yeah, like he'll get us through the first Deadly Premonition game with a pretty efficient pace.
Can I give a little spoiler? So for the House of Horror, obviously I've already started production on some of these, and I let Miles do a list of his top 10 horror games, right? Deadly Premonition was not on his list.
That doesn't make any sense.
He says it's not a pure horror game.
What the fuck is this?
But anyway, so that's
Not
something.
a pure horror game. Can you run down his list?
I'm not going to ruin his whole list on the podcast, bro.
All right, what Resident Evils were on there? I'm assuming you let him go like multiple in a franchise, right?
So I will give one more spoiler about his top 10 horror games of all time. It's just the original Resident Evil on the list because that's the only one that's pure horror. And that's the only one he included. Jarrod just has the dumbest look on his face.
I mean, I don't see how that's any more pure horror than like the other ones. Especially the version that he's playing is like really campy and it's got the same fucking like rocket launcher trope at the end. I don't know. That's dumb.
But yeah, so he in that episode that'll be out in October, like the second or third week, whenever I have it scheduled. It's his top 10 Resident Evil games and his top 10 horror games in one video. So yeah, I won't give any more spoilers than that, but yeah, that'll be coming out in October. But speaking of Miles, like we are thinking of bringing him on full time on this show. So might be going through a little bit of a rebranding. This season of Two Nerds that we're doing right now is coming a little bit to a close. We might be coming back with a new song, new name, everything pretty soon. But so I thought it would be just a fun little idea to take a trip down memory lane with Jarrod and see how well we know our own podcast. Jarrod, I got a few questions for you. And we're gonna see how you feel about that.
All right. I hope I don't have to focus too much because in case you haven't noticed, I'm running my Gundam missions right now as we do the podcast.
I have not noticed, but that's okay. So I've got 15 questions for you. How well we know our own podcasts. And we'll see how many you can get right. Would you like to see what you're playing for? Maybe this will get more of your attention.
Okay, what am I playing for?
You are playing for this Target exclusive Vegeta model.
Oh my god, okay, hold on. All right, let's go. Let's get it. I'm gonna fail miserably. I want the Target exclusive though. Let's go.
All right. So it's 15 questions, so I'll say you
I
got
hope on the YouTube version of this clip you just upload edit like a horrible quality, like taken on Miles's phone picture of
reaction
the Vegeta model. No, the Vegeta model, just like really bad.
I'll invite him over. I'll have him take a picture of.
All right, cool.
All right. So 15 questions. You got to get a few of them right. We'll see if you're deserving of the model here. So we've had many episodes over the years, and some of them have been short. Some of them have been long. Which episode of our show do you think has been the longest? And you've got 4 options for all of these.
Okay.
Our Halloween Havoc special that we did this year, where we reviewed all of the horror films we saw that month.
Okay.
B, the top 10 video games of all time, part 3, which was my list of video games. C, the Halloween trailer and E3 2018 review that we did with Miles when the Halloween trailer originally dropped. Or D, our It Chapter 2 review.
Oh, fuck. You didn't vary this at all. That's probably like our top 4 longest episodes of all time that I have to pick from. You didn't throw the like SAT style, like one of these is obviously wrong. Like,
or option E, stop or our mom will shoot. Just kidding. But yeah, there are 3 of those are our top 3 longest. The other one is just a random one.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna go with C because we talked about this a couple weeks ago when we did your top 10 games, and your top 10 games was really long. I can't remember if it ended up surpassing C or not, or if you went back and said like, yeah, C is our longest. It was around like 2.5 hours or close to 3 or something like that.
So Hold on, let me grab a piece of paper here to take down how many you get right. Hold on.
All right, I'm gonna fix my lighting while you do that.
All right, I got it. I'm already back. But Jarrod's gonna fix his lighting. So while he's fixing his lighting, just remind you guys to make sure you subscribe to the show, leave us a rating and a review. We have like 3 or 4 reviews on Apple Podcasts. It'd be cool to get some more reviews in on there. And that would be really, really cool, you guys. So Jarrod is still fixing his lighting. And yeah, obviously we still have the YouTube versions of these podcasts up. Maybe with Zoom, we'll be able to get some video stuff to sort of justify the YouTube version even existing, because Zoom does record the videos as well. But yeah. So
what does goddamn I keep wanting to say Spotify.
So Skype does the video things, but we tried to do it once and my computer literally, I don't even know if you remember this. We had to restart the podcast because it popped up on the screen that the video recorder was fucking like too new for my computer. So we had to like start over. Like we recorded for like 3 minutes. That was
the same problem that we had with your Elgato, is that your computer software was fucking trash.
Yeah. So we got like 3 minutes in and then had to start over, which thankfully it was only 3 minutes. But so answer C was your answer. You said the Halloween trailer. And when I made this quiz, that was the correct answer. But I did have to go and edit it because the answer is the top 10 video games of all time, part 3. But I'll give you partial credit for that one. So you'll get half a point because that was the correct answer up until a few weeks ago. So.
All right.
So.
What's partial credit? Like 1 out of 2?
No, you'll get half a point. All these are worth 1 point.
All right.
So we just talked about the longest episode. Would you have any idea what our shortest episode would have been? You've got A, the Goku Thanksgiving Day balloon and worst Halloween candies episode. Half of these, Jarrod's going to be like, what the fuck did we talk about this shit?
No, I remember talking about the Goku balloon. I can't remember if we did a Super Saiyan Godcast like section about it.
Yeah.
Or not, but I remember talking about it. I remember the thumbnail was just like the Thanksgiving.
Oh God. B is It versus Get Out. We did a little analysis of those.
I feel like there's no way that's our shortest because I probably went off.
C, Evil Dead Shaves Head and Tons of Dread from season 1, one of the Cocktober episodes where we talked about shaved heads. Or D, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
All right. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to believe in you, buddy, and believe that you gave me a hint earlier. So I'm gonna go with D, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Brother, don't put that much trust in me. The answer is It versus Get Out.
Oh my God, it is the one that I never would have said.
We went for 37 minutes and 51 seconds somehow.
God.
And I haven't listened to that one back, so I don't know what was going on. I think we were just trying to squeeze one in real fast.
It must have been a horrible episode. It must have been like, yeah.
I do remember
pretty good.
I do remember recording that one at your house, I believe. So I think we might have been doing other shit and we just had to like squeeze it in. We've done a few interviews on the show before. We don't really do them as much now. The show has sort of evolved. But for a time we've
evolved past interviews. Interviews are in the past.
Yeah. So take a little, I guess, and what our most popular interview on our show was. Which one brought in the most people? We've got A, Nicholas Vince, B, Jesse DeFranco, C, Laurie Brewster, or D, Tim Boggs. Do you remember any of these people?
No. All right. Obviously, Laurie Brewster is the fucking Owlman guy. The black gloves and whatever. Tim Boggs directed Blood Lake. Friggin' Nicholas Vince is Chatterbox, and
Jesse's just a local filmmaker.
Yeah, he made the Sick Transit Gloria or whatever, and we talked to him about that. So yeah, I remember all the interviews.
I'll give you a hint on this one. Our most popular one is also the longest one out of those.
That's fucking wow, great, thanks.
Well, I thought you might remember that one because it went way into the wee hours of the night.
Tim Boggs?
Tim Boggs, our most popular interview, yeah. Kept us going until like 2, 3 in the morning. Solid dude. Had lots of life experience.
Yeah. He had some stuff, and he had some. He really wanted to inspire us.
Yeah. Yeah, great dude. So you've got 1.5 points. So you're doing all right so far. I might throw a couple bonus questions in at the end so you can get your prize, but we'll see. If not, you might have to wait till your birthday. So, what is our most popular episode overall? What episode out of all of the ones that we've done throughout the years? We've had some bangers. Which one has brought in the most people? A, our review of Mother and porn parody titles. B, what the fuck is a poop knife? C, sexy video game characters. Or D, sex scenes, CM Punk and Ross Lynch. You're noticing a trend here. All of this has... There's something.
It's all about sex. We need to. I mean, it's a good thing we might be bringing Miles onto the podcast because nobody cares about sex more than Midnight Miles, and he might bring some serious numbers to the thing. I'm going with Ross Lynch on this because he was our big popularity thing for a while.
He was our big popularity thing for a while, but our highest viewed episode.
What the fuck is a poop knife?
If only. That one's close. That one is close. With 4.3 thousand views.
Oh, wow. Jesus Christ.
Is our review of Mother and porn parody titles.
That's crazy. Who wants to hear us talk about fucking Mother? I never want to watch that movie again.
I was talking about that with Emily the other day. I was like, yeah, you got to see it at least once, but then after that, you're fine. But never again. It's all right.
Emily, you need to watch it, and I will go upstairs while you watch it.
Yeah. So with this new season of the show, we've made the move onto Spotify, Apple Podcasts through Anchor. And so we've had the new season of the show up on these streaming services. So which one has been our most popular episode on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all these? So these are all fairly recent. Obviously. So we've got the top 20 Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liners. We've got B, the Batman trailer review.
I forgot about
C,
that.
our 2021 horror movie preview, where we talked about all the movies we wanted to watch last year, but we couldn't. Or D, conspiracy theories, lizard people, Avril Lavigne, and more.
Conspiracy theories.
That one did the best views on YouTube out of these ones, but our most popular one on the streaming services is our 2021 horror preview. People want to know about the horror films, man.
What?
I don't know, but that also was the first Cocktober episode, so maybe that had something to do with it. It came out whilst I was doing my 31 videos. So just in general, viewership was up at that point. But yeah, that's the most popular one as of right now. And so the next ones, we're getting into the least popular episodes. And for this, I had to draw a line where no episodes that came out like within the past like month or 2 months are going to be included, because those obviously still have time to do whatever. So these ones are all there. They can be from this season, but they got to be like episodes we did either earlier this year or last year.
Okay.
And of course, it includes the first 3 seasons as well.
Okay.
So our least popular episodes. So these episodes need a little bit of love, you guys. So if you want to go and check these ones out, these are the ones to look out for. We've got Drake plays Fortnite in Tommy Wiseau's Joker episode. That one I knew we had high hopes for because Drake playing Fortnite was a hot button trending thing at the time.
hot button issue.
Yeah. B, Jarrod in Japan, when you talked about your Japan trip.
God damn it.
C,
Nobody gives a fuck.
Well, let's see. Because number C, letter C, is the monkey wrench shoot interview, where we just let Ricky talk about how he got kicked out of his band.
Oh my god!
We recorded.
Why did we do that?
I can't remember, because he posted like a really funny like Snapchat story about it. So we were like, "Fuck, we just got to get this guy on here to go off," and then he didn't even go off that much.
Oh my god, that was the worst thing.
And we recorded 2 shows that night, because midway through the podcast, Aponte and Nick Myers came over, and then we did another podcast right after that, and Ricky left. But anyway, and then D is our review of Escape Plan with Arnold and Stallone.
Okay.
So that was sort of the cutoff. I sort of was like, all right, March and so on, that's fine, but February and up. So Escape Plan review is D.
Okay. And this is for the least popular video of all time?
This is for the least popular episode on YouTube.
Okay. I gotta go with the monkey wrench. I gotta go with monkey wrench fucking shoot interview.
Let me check the views on that one, because that is not the answer, but now you have me curious. The correct answer.
How did this come over? Did Ricky watch it?
So Ricky's episode has 25 views, but
Ricky watched it 25 times.
But our least popular episode on YouTube is our review of Escape Plan.
All right, I was about to kill myself if it was Jarrod in Japan.
With only 8 views. So that one, people got to show our Escape Plan review a little love, because that was a pretty decent film. So,
well, they got to show the movie some love.
Yeah.
And then come check out our review. Yeah.
So let's move on to Spotify. So this is question 7, and you have 1.5 points.
How many questions are there?
There's 15, and then I'll throw in a couple bonus ones. We'll see how you do. So our least popular on Spotify is going to be our next question. We've got A, our Halloween 2018 re-review. B, we've got the best memes of 2020. C, we've got the best alternative / non-traditional Christmas movies. Or D, our Escape Plan review. And he's thinking, am I tricking him, or is that just the least popular episode on both platforms?
Yeah, I just... I
actually remember that being a somewhat decent episode, because it was right after the Stop or My Mom Will Shoot one, which was piss. So I remember that episode was actually a little bit of fun to do, but go with your heart.
What are the options again, besides Escape Plan?
So you've got the best memes of 2020, Halloween 2018 re-review when we revisited it, and then the best non-traditional Christmas movies, so our Christmas special.
I'm going to go with our Christmas special.
Christmas special was great, brother. People fucking hate Escape Plan. Escape Plan is our least viewed episode on everything.
God.
It has 8 views on both, so a total of 16. So still one of the lowest rated episodes on both, like, combined. But
and it's one of your top 5 Stallone movies of all time.
Of all time, brother. Of all time.
Son of a bitch, dude. I'm not going to get this Vegeta.
So now we really got to journey back, because we've been doing this podcast going on 5 years now. We've done plenty of episodes talking about all kinds of things over the years. Season 2 actually had I think we did 50 episodes or some shit in season 2. We did a lot. But do you recall what we talked about in our very first episode?
No.
A, SummerSlam, Metallica, American football, and more. B, Justice League, Tales from the Crypt, and more. C, Killing Joke, Rocket League, Final Fantasy, and more. Or D, comedic sex scenes, UFC 203, Tumblr, and more. our first episode where we also introduced each other. We did some interviews. We interviewed each other basically. But we also tried to keep up with current events. We were talking about what was going on at the time because that was a big part of the show, try to keep it relevant. It's not really a part of the show anymore as much because we'd rather it be more universal, but I see him going to the phone. And no,
I'm not good. I'm looking at my steel books of Final Fantasy VII Intergrade and Resident Evil 3 Remake. I'm going with American football.
Our first episode, for some reason, we talked about Justice League, Tales from the Crypt, and more.
Because I mean, that's what was happening. Like, Tales from the Crypt was getting that remake or whatever
by Rob Zombie. I also did re-listen to this first episode, just to see how bad it was. You were hyping. You've changed a lot in these 5 years because you were hyping up Teenage Nosferatu pussy. You were like bumping your fist and shit.
Oh.
Also, both of our voices were much more high pitched, but I think that might have been the microphones. But
that was the Jake the Jobber mixing there on that one.
Yeah. So, as I said, that was our first episode. We've been doing this for many, many years. We didn't make a big deal about it at the time because we didn't really count or anything. But for this next one, it's going to be what was our 100th episode. And this is going to be excluding a few episodes that we had to remove and some compilations and stuff like that. But right now, in my estimation, our 100th official ready to listen to episode is on. And your options are A, the Batman trailer review, B, are we living in a simulation? C, famous films that we've never seen, or D, was it ironically our 4-year anniversary special?
So, all of our podcast titles sound way more interesting than like what I remember our podcast.
You gotta try to get the clicks, brother.
Are we living in a simulation?
That's what we talked about, and that was an episode we did a Q&A, and someone asked if we thought we were living in a simulation. That was a whole Q&A episode from this year.
Oh my god, that sounds like a podcast that I would actually click on. Like if Trash Taste did a podcast titled "Are We Living in a Simulation?" I think, oh fuck yeah, like I'd listen to that.
But you're not judging clicks. You're judging which one would be the 100th episode. Which one happened to be 100?
I know. I'm just making a comment.
I don't know. I trust your gut instinct on this one, man. One of them seems to be speaking to you.
Yeah, but you told me not to trust you earlier. All right. Are we living in a simulation? We'll go with that.
That is the correct answer.
Okay.
Yes. Are we living in a simulation episode from this year? The official 100th episode. Yeah. So we've talked about a lot of things on the show. We've done over 100 episodes at this point. It's coming up on like 150, I think. I might have to count and we'll see how many episodes are actually. Maybe on our 150th or 200th, we'll actually have to make a big deal about it. But there have been a few episodes over the year, obviously. You went to Japan and there were some other things. Out of all the episodes of the show, how many episodes were you not a part of, do you think? So you've got 5 through 8 are A, B, C, and D. So 5, 6, 7, or 8 episodes that you have not been a part of. I, of course, have been on every single episode because it wouldn't exist without me recording it. But, yeah.
I think there was talks one time of me being like, I need to put an effort in. I should record some of these. But I'm going to go...
So it's 5, 6, 7, or 8. Do you really think you missed like 7 or 8 episodes, or are you thinking it's more like 5 or 6?
I'm gonna go with 6.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna go with 5.
I was gonna say, you really think you missed 6? Yeah, 5 is the correct answer because you were in Japan for a few weeks, so you missed 4 episodes right there, and then it was just one other episode, and that's it.
What was the other one?
I don't remember. I think we had an interview with Steve from What's on the Shelf. And for some reason you couldn't go, and I had already like scheduled him. So I just had him be like a guest host. And instead of like doing like a formal interview, we just did the podcast that we would have done like the next week. Like they had announced that like John Cena was rumored to be like Duke Nukem or whatever. So we just talked about like random shit since I already had him scheduled for that time. So that's what we did. So we're on our 11th question. You have 3.5 points. We'll see if you can make it to 7. We'll see if you can get 7 points out of this. There was one episode early on where we had some technical issues. We talked about that at the beginning of this episode. We had some problems with some live streaming and stuff like that at points. But technical issues are something we've been dealing with for a while. What episode did we actually have to redo in its entirety? If you remember having to do an episode twice in one day. Okay. We've got A, the most overplayed songs at Guitar Center. B, VHS collecting Batman and Soup was an episode. C, Suicide Squad, Lights Out, and more. Or D, the worst sex scenes in our review of Don't Breathe. This was an early episode. We did this one with Jake the Jobber's setup. This was an early episode. It was actually our second ever episode, if you can recall what our second episode was.
Jesus Christ! All right, so what are the?
So we got the most overplayed songs at Guitar Center, VHS collecting Batman and Soup, Suicide Squad, Lights Out, or the worst sex scenes in Don't Breathe. One of those you should be able to throw out right from the beginning because it's fairly recent.
The Soup one is yes. What I'm throwing out because I remember talking about Soup not in the garage. It was in my living room.
It was right. Yeah, it was right to the side of you there. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Lights Out.
That is correct.
Yes.
That is correct. We reviewed Lights Out twice, and I remember the first recording of it was actually better because the second time we were just unenthused that we fucking lost everything and had to redo it immediately. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I remember we finished it and then we went over to the computer and it just wasn't there.
I mean, I understand. Like, it's hard to do something naturally and get through it, and then you're like, fuck. Now you have to do it again, and you kind of have to pretend like you're doing it naturally, even though it's unnatural. You're just repeating a conversation.
I think we said in the episode straight up we had to do it a second time. I think we said straight up this is.
I mean, that's that. Yeah, I mean that's.
But still,
the
energy's not going to be there.
Let them know, like, hey, this podcast is going to suck.
Yeah. And it was our second ever podcast, so right from the gate we were like, all right, don't get your hopes up, brothers. So, right. Out of all the episodes that we've ever done, we have only done this once. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but we actually did a sneak preview video of one of our podcasts. And it was from episode number 15. So this is also early on. It was in the garage. So think of what episodes we would have done in the garage. Right. You're going to try to guess what the video was that we uploaded as a sneak preview and see if you remember this from episode 15. A clip of us winning a Rocket League game and screaming. B, Jarrod reacting to Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff / Seinfeld theme song mashup. C, introducing our first official guest interview, Dan Kinham, first guest on the show. Or D, a short Cocktober preview.
All right, it's B, Seinfeld.
It's 100% B.
I specifically remember you uploading the preview of that.
Because you just started wigging. I was like, I gotta record this shit because his reaction is the funniest shit I've ever seen.
That shit hit different.
It's an incredible song, brother.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So we made a few, speaking of videos, we did a few promo videos over the years. In our season 3 promo video, it shows Jarrod playing one of his illustrious Dragon Ball mobile games. When he gets his long-awaited pull, trying to get the best possible character he could possibly get, Jarrod managed to pull live on the video A Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, B, Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, C, a Hercule statue, or D, a Cell Jr. Do you remember in the promo video if you had a happy or sad reaction, first off?
This is for the season 3?
This is season 3. This is when we sing the song and we're reaching out to each other over the starry night. When I had moved to Columbus.
Okay, it's Cell Jr. I pulled Cell Jr. on the video, acted like I was hype about it, and then like when the camera turned off, I was like bummed out or whatever.
You pulled a Hercule statue.
Oh, motherfucker!
And you were very upset in the video, which was good because it was a depressing video.
Okay.
So it worked out that you pulled the most trash shit of all time.
You can only pull Hercule statues on the free-to-play banner, I just want to say. But it'd be funny if I did like a summon for like a fucking LR or some shit, and all of a sudden it was like Hercule statue. I'd be like, motherfucker.
All right, so we got 2 questions left.
That's what confused me. I wasn't sure if like because Cell Jr. you could pull on anything. So if it was like a video of me summoning on a banner where I could potentially get something good, I could pull Cell Jr. and be like, all right. Anyways.
So question 14, you got 2 left. You have 5.5 points. You need at least 7 to get this. Right. So roughly,
I gotta snipe the next 2.
You gotta snipe the next 2. I do have some bonus ones prepared.
Or I could get it half right.
Yeah, get it half right.
I could snipe 1.5 of them.
Yeah. So once again, going back to our promo videos, in our season 2 promo video, we needed to find the secret tape that was able to open the locked door to our studio. What was the tape? Do you need options for this, or do you know right off the bat? I can give you options.
Give me the options.
A, Death Row Diner. B, White Men Can't Hump. C, Deadly Prey. Or D, Edge of the Axe.
It's White Men Can't Hump. No?
Let's think a little bit. White Man Can't Hump is in the video, yeah.
Okay, sure. Okay, so Death Row Diner. No? Son of a bitch.
The correct answer is D, Edge of the Axe.
What the fuck? What were we thinking? It should have been White Men Can't Hump.
Well, White Man Can't Hump was in the video, and that because that's what I thought opened the door. I was like, oh, is it White Man Can't Hump? And you're like, well, did the door open?
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
But no,
I guess we couldn't put White Men Can't Hump on the in the video, actually.
Oh, it was in the video.
Like the actual box?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the back cover of it has like
Oh no, yeah, we didn't show the back cover. that'll be a mystery. We'll let the people track down their own copy.
It's not don't worry about that. It's not like that crazy. It's just a girl like pretty much wearing nothing but a basketball net.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
but no, you say I ask you because there's a gap on the wall in the E section. Hey, did you throw out Edge of the Axe? And you say not yet. Why? And then for some reason it was in the action section by Deadly Prey, which is what opened the door. So you pull out Edge of the Axe and the door opens.
Because I just wanted to flex Deadly Prey.
I'm pretty sure Deadly Prey is in the video. I can't remember exactly, but I know it was over in the action section. So we used to do a lot of polls on the show. We kind of stopped doing that. I'm not sure why. I don't know. We just stopped doing it somehow. And the main.
I should get half a point for saying White Men Can't.
Okay, you'll get
because it is in the video.
Okay, you'll get half a point. So you got 6. So we'll see. So we'll see. We'll see if you can snipe this 7.
Really fucking grasping at straws right now.
We'll see if you can snipe this. So we've done a lot of polls over the years, and the most time that we do the polls is in October. Which of the following was not a poll that we did for our Cocktober episodes? A, the sexiest Adam Sandler character. B, sexiest superhero. C, sexiest giant movie monster. Or D, sexiest horror villain.
Giant movie monster. I don't think that we ever did a Cocktober about giant movie monsters, even though we should have. Son of a bitch. Adam Sandler character?
Oh, the sexiest giant movie monsters is the correct answer.
You motherfucker, you tried to Regis film at me.
And here's the thing. We started doing that episode, and we were talking about giant movie monsters, and we were like, well, it can only be Godzilla. And then so we just, we made it just movie monsters after that. So we talked about like Predator and like all that kind of stuff. It didn't have to be Kaiju.
Right, yeah, we knew that it was going to be Godzilla. It still would have warranted a good discussion. Like,
because here's my pitch.
Do you think the Beast of 20,000 Fathoms would have given Godzilla a little bit of a run for his money?
No chance at all. No chance. But here's my pitch for you, because this year for October, we've already discussed that we're going to be reviewing the Godzilla era film, the original Godzilla films. So maybe we might have to revisit this giant movie monster poll here and just exclude Godzilla. It could be the sexiest Godzilla villain or something like that.
Yeah, that would be King Caesar, right?
King Caesar, he's got an incredible hair, my dude. He's a big ass lion dude.
And a hell of a body. He's ripped.
Yeah. Just to blow through these bonus questions real fast, because I wrote them down. What's our most viewed episode of Lost on VHS? I'm not going to give you any options on this one.
Of Lost on VHS. Fuck.
I'll give you a hint. It's our most popular episode, mainly because Chris Jericho watched it and retweeted it.
Edge of the Axe.
Edge of the Axe, our most popular episode. So you've got 8 right, so you technically have half over, because there were 15 questions, so it's 7 and 8, so you have more than half correct of the episode.
By the way, Edge of the Axe was at the forefront of my thoughts even before you said Chris Jericho. It was like Edge of the Axe and The Brain. Those were the only 2 that were coming to my head.
Yeah. The other options that I wrote down were Death Row Diner, Honeymoon Horror, and Hard Rock Nightmare. Okay, so here's an interesting one, because I did say I re-listened to episode 1 when I was making these questions just to sort of get like inspiration on what we could talk about. In episode 1, we made a lot of promises and came up with a lot of ideas that we didn't end up doing. And which one of these...
Imagine that. We still do that to this day. Who knows if this 1,000 subscriber live stream is actually
going to happen. Which one of these discussion topics did we bring up in our first episode of the podcast saying that there was going to be more to it than this? Which one of these did we not talk about? So we talked about 3 out of the 4 of these doing in the future. A, starting a band together. B, talking about street racing on the show. C, doing a promotional episode for Unlucky's DVD release. Or D, doing a live podcast. None of these we've done, but which one of the 3 out of the 4 of these we talked about doing in our first episode?
We said we were going to talk about street racing.
I don't know. Did we? I don't know.
Okay, we definitely talked about that we were going to do an Unlucky DVD promotional release. I remember that. I remember talking about it. And we did do like an Unlucky episode or whatever.
We did not.
We didn't do an Unlucky episode at all?
We never did any of these things. That's the point
of
it.
Well, not like a DVD release is what I'm saying, but didn't we talk about Unlucky on the podcast?
in the first episode, we mentioned that it happened, and then we mentioned that we were going to be doing something, but that's the only time
okay.
That's the only time it's been discussed. But no, so we didn't do any of these things. We didn't start a band. We never talked about street racing. We never did the DVD release, and we never did a live podcast.
All right. Well, I can imagine that, but we did talk about. The point of the matter is that we did talk about Unlucky in the first episode.
Yes, we did talk about doing the Unlucky release in the first episode, so that one you can scratch off.
I can imagine that in passing, I mentioned that we were going to start a band together.
All right, so you have 2 to scratch off.
And let's see here.
So street racing and doing a live podcast.
Okay, street racing. It's got to be street racing. We did not talk about street racing. Or did I just joking?
You told people to meet you down at the Circle K or some shit.
Errands. Meet me at errands.
That was, I'll edit in the clip right here of what you said.
We're going to talk about
A bunch of stuff.
all sorts of nerdy stuff. So wrestling, video games, movies, TV shows,
Basically whatever we feel like, man.
Pokemon,
Pokemon.
music,
Hint for what's to come later, maybe.
street racing.
Street racing, maybe.
Street racing. I'm a very skilled street racer. My 1997 Chevy Malibu. I challenge any one of you out there to see me on Route 20. See me in the Aaron's parking lot. And
But yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, meet me in the Aaron's parking lot. You said. But no, we didn't talk about doing a live podcast for some reason. Even though we tried to do one, we got invited to do that panel at the Geek Expo, but we just did like a question and answer thing. We didn't do a live podcast. But yeah, that was the answer. We did not allude to doing a live podcast.
Damn.
But you did talk about Teenage Nosferatu Pussy because Rob Zombie was the one doing the Tales from the Crypt remake or whatever. So you were like hyping it up. He doesn't remember ever liking that song, but that's okay.
I mean, at one point I probably liked it. I mean, back then I had to have liked it ironically. I would never I've never like actually was like, yo, Teenage Nosferatu Pussy, like, let's go. Like, never listened to it of my own volition. It was only around Miles.
All right, here's our last bonus question. And the good thing about being on Spotify and these apps now is you can see where people listen to your podcast. Which country we have no listeners in? Not a single person has clicked on our podcast in any of these regions of the world, okay? A, Serbia, Singapore, Argentina, or Japan.
It's Japan, right?
We have no Japan listeners, brother.
Right, I knew that. I want
a
them
single one.
desperately. That's our target demographic.
At least on the apps. On YouTube, I mean, anyone can do it, but on the apps, not a single listener from Japan. Jarrod, you have passed the quiz. This Vegeta model is now yours.
Yes! Yes! I told you! Catch me at the Aaron's parking lot. That's where I will receive my Vegeta. And I'll race any of you, any of the 10 listeners of this show. I'll race any of you for the Vegeta.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff. I guess that'll pretty much do it for this week, unless you have anything else you want to say. I actually have a note on my phone of like shit that like I want to. There's a squirrel out.
Yeah.
Apparently because I have a little note on my phone of like shit to like talk about on the podcast. Like I type down like general notes of like shit to tell you that I think is funny. Most of these we've talked about, but I was scrolling through it today. Apparently I wrote falafel story. And I don't know what the fuck that means. So you're never going to hear the falafel story.
I want to hear the falafel story.
Because you were saying something about falafels a couple times the last few times you were over. You said something about falafel.
I'm supposed to tell the falafel story?
No, because you mentioned something about falafel when you were over a couple weeks ago. And then something happened in my life with falafels, and I wrote down in my phone to tell you about this falafel story because I knew you'd get a kick out of it, and I can't fucking remember it.
Will you ever remember the falafel story?
I don't know. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try
my damnedest.
And the only other thing in this note that we haven't talked about yet that I want to get your quick reaction to before we sign off here. Miles informed me that all 3 of the Broly films are equally as enjoyable.
No. For one, there's 4 Broly films. And,
he's referring to the original trilogy. Yeah.
Okay. No, Miles. No. That is objectively wrong as saying that second form Cell beat the fuck out of Vegeta. Which is an actual quote from Miles. You can listen to you talk about it on the podcast. And Ricky was there. Everybody was there. And when we showed him the facts, we literally looked up a highlight reel of the fight on YouTube, and he said, "Well, that's just your opinion."
But yeah, he said all 3 are equally as enjoyable. He's like, "Yeah, it's just Broly. I don't know what the big deal. They're all the same."
Has he not seen them? Has he not watched the movies? I could see Miles really liking Bio Broly because Miles loves garbage. Like, let's just get that out on the table right now. Any listeners of the podcast know just by listening to our episodes with Midnight Miles. Miles is a garbage enthusiast. He loves it. He's like a raccoon. Like you catch him swimming around in this shit sometimes at night. So I could see him liking Bio Broly for these kind of sci-fi garbage swamp thing kind of deal to it, even though it's fucking terrible. It's objectively bad. It could be redeemable if at least even Goku was in the fucking movie. Goku's not even in the movie, and I'm not even a Goku fan. But Goku's not even in the film. The film revolves around Goten, Trunks, Krillin, and Android 18. The fucking C Squad. It's not even the fucking B team. Gohan's not even in the fucking movie. It's the fucking C team. It revolves around the movie. Bio Broly is trash. And then Broly Second Coming is okay.
It's very mid. It's a very mid tier.
When compared directly to the original Broly movie, it's
not even close.
It's way the fuck better. How you'd have to be legally blind to not realize that. It's objectively worse than the original Broly movie. The original Broly movie being if not the best original Dragon Ball Z movie, it's definitely in the top 3 or 5.
I'd say top 3 without question out of the original ones.
It's Cooler's Revenge,
Fusion Reborn,
and Broly. Those are the top 3. And I honestly like Return of Cooler more than Cooler's Revenge, but that's only because Vegeta is in Return. And it's his movie debut.
Yeah.
So
that's one, along with the Godzilla films, that's another one that we should do a tier list of at some point. I think we talked about doing that.
That would be a really easy marathon to run because all the
all 45 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, they're really short. And most of them are really fun. I wouldn't mind fucking watching Lord Slug again. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like Lord. I think it's underrated because people think it's just a Piccolo ripoff, which it is, but that doesn't mean it's not a fun movie.
No, it's definitely better than fucking Bio Broly. And I would even venture to say better than Broly Second Coming.
I would rank it better than both, I think, if I had to rank them, yeah.
It's closer with Broly Second Coming, but with
Bio Broly is by far the worst. There's not even any
Yeah, Bio Broly's fucking terrible. Wrath of the Dragon is like up there with some of my least favorite.
When I rewatched it, it's not as bad as I remember. I'm still not very interested in them fighting a kaiju, but at least the story around it is somewhat entertaining. Because there's some that just have like no redeemable quality. Like I'd rather watch that than like Tree of Might or something. I'd rather fucking die.
Tree of Might is good,
bro. It's so bad, dude. It's fine.
No,
we'll have to do our tier list. We'll hack it out. We'll argue about it. It's fine. Maybe for the next
Tree of Might is fine. Tree of Might is fine. It's like classic fucking like old school Dragon Ball Z like Saiyan Saga shit. Like except with like a piece of fruit.
I don't know. It needs a rewatch. That's one that I've rewatched not as frequently as some of the others. But yeah, I remember it not being that great.
Fuck!
What did he pull? What did he pull live on the show?
I didn't. I'm on Rocket League now, and I tried to spike it into the basketball hoop because I'm playing hoops, and I fucking knocked it out. I fucked us. We would have won the game.
I saw you were on Rocket League last night at like 2 a.m.
It wasn't 2 a.m. I was waiting for Steve to come over, and I was playing Rocket League.
Maybe because I was just on the app on my phone. Maybe it just didn't update, but I like checked at like 2 a.m. and it said Jarrod's on Rocket League. I was like,
oh, you know
Christ.
what? I don't think I ever closed it.
Oh, okay. That might have explained it.
So I was probably just sitting on the menu and like me and Steve went out to the garage and played pool.
Yeah. I finished my 3-hour run last night. Barely fucking
I saw on the Instagram 2:45.
Yeah. So cut it a little.
Resident Evil Village. I mean, we're still alive. We haven't signed off here.
No, I know. But yeah. That's about it for this week, you guys. Again, if you guys...
Okay, we won. Thank God.
He won the game. Thank God. We can sign off on the podcast again. Go listen to some of these old episodes, man, if you guys want to. They're on YouTube and all that
Aaron
good
in
stuff.
Japan, bro. Come on. What the fuck? And check out my YouTube videos. I uploaded them in terrible quality, all except for the last one. Because I figured out how to render.
Yeah. But yeah, season 5 of the show is going to be coming very soon. So yeah, go check out some of the old episodes. Season 5, I mean, we're trying to figure out what we want to do if we're changing the name or not, if Miles is coming on full time.
New title, possibly, definitely new intro. It's time for that for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be winding down this season in a few weeks. I'm thinking maybe the last episode of the season, since we brought in this season talking about the Space Jam trailer, I'm thinking our finale should be a review of the film. And then we take off.
When does that drop?
I think it's like the second week of July or something like that. So it's coming up pretty soon. So I'm thinking that'll be our finale. Then we'll have a couple months off to get a new name and potentially change up the songs and stuff like that. And probably get a couple of the October episodes done in advance just to have them in the can ready to go so we're not rushing, because I got a lot of shit that I'm working on. I'm hoping to get you on some more shows than just the podcast. Looking to hopefully do some stuff with you, maybe some gaming stuff, maybe some, I don't know. We'll figure it out. You're a big found footage guy. I mean, we can still do the top 10 found footage or something like that, but we'll figure it out.
A Deadly Premonition live stream definitely coming up. I'm honestly like really looking forward to it for some reason.
Are you really? Well, yeah, I'll let you take the reins on that one. You can figure out the technical stuff, and then we'll.
I think it's gonna be fun. I think we're gonna get into it. We're all gonna grill Miles. Like, it'll be funny. And he's gonna help us get through the fucking game. And you know, if anybody, you know, you have 1,000 subscribers, hopefully some of them pop in and come into the chat and, you know, and interact with us, and you know, it'll be fine. We'll get about to the halfway point before we start to really get burnt out. Yeah. But DoorDash exists now, you know what I mean? We can order in the fucking Indian food, and that'll be a whole like story arc in the fucking live stream in itself. Like
trying to decide food, that'll be a whole like 2-hour discussion.
No, it's gonna be our typical Indian place. So the story arc will be like how fucking long I can hold my shit.
Well, yes, but that'll do it for this week, you guys. Again, thanks for listening and watching. Maybe I'll be able to get the video of this up on YouTube. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, thanks everyone for checking out the episode. And yeah, we will see you next week. Maybe Miles will come back on eventually. He hasn't wanted to record with us for a minute because he's a little bitch, but that's fine. We'll see.
He's actively not wanting to record?
I don't know. It seems like it.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dynamite Jarrod. I'm sure you plugged it already. Twitch channel is the same thing, Dynamite Jarrod. I'm about to go live after this, but you won't know that because this episode
will be out
later.
Yes.
But as of recording this, I'm about to go live playing Silent Hill. So if anyone can read my mind, go check it out. And I'll probably be on there again after this. So check out the Twitch, check out the YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Dynamite Jarrod, catch your ass down the road.
And this is Buddy the Bruiser. I'm signing off.